Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, my TV said this is season 7, episode 2, but I think it's season 6, episode something, something. I don't know. Anyway, this episode is called Saw Ladylike, and let's go ahead and get into it. Real quick before we do, I'll be going live to do my Struggle Love movie review. That's for Baby Boy. That is, by the time y'all see this, it might be tonight, this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you in the chat. If you can't make it, definitely check out the replay. And if you enjoyed this video, check out my other content. Like, comment, share, subscribe, watch all the way through. It will help your girl out a ton and it's free. So why not? All right, so let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. So the episode begins, and Mel's still at Keke's house asking about the Crime Stopper situation. Keke like, look, I can't discuss nothing. I got lawyers now. And then Mel was like, well, was that you in the video? Keke's talking about, I can't confirm nor deny if that was me in the video. Girl, what, do you think that we can't see? We saw you. We know it was, what? We know it was you. We looked at, they zoomed in on your face. Girl, anyway. So, Keke said that Tisha was the last one to call her. And Mel, playing Peacemaker, explained, like, look, y'all are just getting back on good terms. Y'all are just rebuilding your cousin relationship. So, it's going to take some time for her to come around. And Mel, in her confessional, once again mentioned Tisha saying that she had a dark soul like 100 years ago. But she's like, I won't mind playing Peacemaker. That's what I'm here to do. Y'all already know Mel's time at Love and Marriage Huntsville is supposedly coming to an end anyway. She moving on to other things. So she like, I'm just here so I can get my check, okay? Keke says she will be at Tiffany's baby reveal, so we'll get into that later. In the next scene, Tisha comes to visit Marcel. He's at their home. You know, they're rebuilding, so he's working on it by himself, which is probably why it's taking 100 years. Still didn't even break ground on that land they had, but whatever. Y'all remember a few seasons back when they had, because remember, the first season, they were in a townhome. We don't even know what happened with that. Then they said they was going to be building, I don't know, whatever they were trying to build on that land and trying to get the Scotts 2.0 to jump in, which they said no. And clearly for good reason. Then they moved into this house, and at first they were talking about it was their rental home and they're just temporarily in it. Like, this is not y'all rental home. This is y'all house. Stop the madness. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. So Marceau mentions that he went to court. Somebody sued them. I don't know. I don't know about it. So we're going to move on like Tisha did. Tisha changed the subject and was like, what's the furniture budget? And he was like, well, what do we need? And she was like, everything. What did y'all do with the furniture y'all had? But I do understand if we're going to renovate and remodel the home, then we're going to remodel the home. I want new furniture. I want new things. Like, I want it to look like a whole brand new house all the way around. So I feel her. But his cheap self want to go to Renter Center. You know, when they come to men, they be like, look, they will sit on some folding chairs. They don't even want a couch. They don't want that. They don't care. We need furniture. And he was like, Renter Center. She was like, so just give me the budget and I'll work with it. See, this is what happens when you don't have no say-so in the marriage. I thought they was rich, though. They told us that they was multi-millionaires. So why is the budget so tight? So they continue to argue about their finances and what Marceau's spending with his allowance. I don't know. It's something about these grown adults talking about allowance. Can y'all pick another word? Is that just me? But he was like, he took his allowance for the month and bought a car part with it. And he's like, I don't ask you what you do with yours. That's your money. And she's like, I do things for the kids. Now, why does Tisha have to use her allowances for her to buy things for the kids? And why isn't he buying things for the kids? If this is supposed to be my personal spending money, then that don't have nothing to do with no kids. That's crazy. So he going back and forth, and he like, how can you call me selfish when I'm putting in all this work on this house? You might be working on the house, but when we talking about spending money, what you doing with that? What? please help me to understand, because he was like, I bought things for the house or whatever. Like, do y'all got separate accounts? What's going on with the finances? It's a little fuzzy. So Tisha was like, look, I didn't say you don't do things for the house. I never said that. So Marcel apologized, which is that might have been the first time I ever heard him apologize. But he didn't just leave it there. He coerced and nagged her into apologizing too. So Tisha comes out and she's like, look, I need a new SUV. That's basically what she came here for. That's why she wanted to know the furniture budget so she can know how much she has to spend on her car. I don't know. Tisha probably got a secret stash somewhere. And if she don't, she should. So moving on, we see Stormy and Tiffany and they're planning Baby Ace's reveal. They discuss the guest list. And Stormy says she don't got no problem with Tisha. And it seemed like everybody around is trying to make a problem because of that little tongue tussle they had at that Mexican restaurant. And I'm hungry right now, so I'm just thinking about the Mexican food that they left on that table, honey. You know that bothers me if you've been here before. Don't be leaving. Get a to-go plate. But you know, Tisha was so mad. But Stormy was like, look, as soon as that was over with, I was over it, okay? So Stormy is also shocked that Tiffany invited Keke. Girl, you know y'all got the film. Why are you surprised? Stormy does a wellness check, however, and she asks Tiffany how she's doing since the baby's been born, because she's like, I know how I felt when I had my baby. I mean, though this isn't Tiffany's first rodeo, it's been a minute. And I feel like when you having a baby in your 20s is way different than having a baby in your 30s. And I don't even want to think about what it's like having a baby in your 40s because I ain't doing it. But she was like, look, I'm overwhelmed. I got my older kids. I got this, that. Look, everybody is tugging me, pulling me every which way. Lou ain't nowhere to be found. He working, picking up extra shifts so that he don't got to come home. It was too much. Side note, Stormy, get your purse up off the floor. She had that Louis bag resting on the floor. Honey, pick it up. You know they say it's bad luck to leave you. But okay, I'm going to leave them old wise tales alone. But Stormy said it's okay to not be okay. And I resonate with that personally. I mean, my child 2.5 and I still feel overwhelmed. That postpartum will hit you. So I'm glad she checked on her. And I'm sure a lot of other mothers resonate with it too. Constantly spread thin and always feeling like you're not doing enough. So we see Nell and Chris meeting with the Scotts 1.0. And Nell and Chris got these confessionals. They trying to give main character energy. They should have been in the opening credits instead of Keke. Because Keke ain't bringing absolutely nothing besides this Crime Stopper situation that she can't even talk about to the table. So... and I wonder if they're trying to like slowly bring them on like full time because y'all know they said this was supposed to be Mel's last season. Like, sorry to the millimeters out there. So the Scotts 1.0 said the Fletchers claimed they wanted to get to know them better. The Fletchers was like, we really just came because we felt the way that y'all didn't invite us to speak at that Black Expo. Shout out to Tisha. I feel like were y'all cool like that? I don't know. And they said they were more than qualified to be there. They've been running businesses like for a long time. Like while y'all was still in school, we've been running businesses. Okay. So Nell asked Marcel at the dinner what he thought she and Chris did, because she like, why didn't you invite us? Don't you know what we do for a living? And Marcel was like, well, I know Chris is a realtor, and I thought she was just a pretty housewife. That's what he assumed. Nell said, look, she is a businesswoman and a successful one at that, okay? And in the confessional, the Fletchers said that Chris said that they are the original Black Power couple of Huntsville for 29 years to be exact. And Nell said it might take the Scotts 1.0 29 years to catch up to them. I said, oop. Where was this version of Nell in seasons past? Okay, she coming in with the shade. She coming in hot. All right. But Nell has a daycare. And even Tisha was the one that mentioned it. So I guess it's a well-known fact in Huntsville that she got a daycare. Marcel apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry. Y'all just didn't come to mind. Like, I just wasn't thinking about y'all. Y'all ain't really a part of the cast. I mean, goodness. And Nell does not receive it. Well, good, because it wasn't genuine anyway. Marcel said that they weren't in a good space with the former Holtz, and the Fletchers are the Holtz friends. So he's like, if we not friends with them, why would we met y'all through the Holtz? So why would we be inviting y'all? We ain't cool with y'all. We only know y'all in passing. Nell said, like, this ain't high school nor college. Okay, leave that for the kindergarten table. You can leave that at my daycare over there. This is about business, and we grown folks. Like, our friendship with the Holtz don't got nothing to do with y'all. I don't know. Is it just me, or was that food that they ordered looking pretty good? What restaurant was this in Huntsville, in case I ever slide through down there to the Alabama? But I done told you already I'm hungry, so I'm trying to get this weight off. Just let me be. Back to this. So Chris asked about the comeback group, and Marcel said the Holtz didn't even speak at the event. Like, Mel was sitting in the front row, and, well, we know Marcel was scared to say something because he don't got nothing going on. And Nell was like, well, I heard that y'all weren't paying people, so that's probably why she didn't speak. Now, if you know that they weren't paying people, why do y'all want to be a part of this so bad? Like, why do y'all care that y'all want a part of this? I wouldn't care. They wasn't getting paid. I mean, and if you want to do a community event and y'all are the original Black Power couple, have your own community event. Like, I mean, but that's just what I'm thinking. Let me know what y'all thinking down in the comments, okay? And if I didn't say it already, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Back to this. The Scotts. For the Scotts. How are y'all charging people? The speakers want to get paid. They do this for a living. Instead of paying people, you charging them to be a part of your event. Now, Marcel gonna sit up there and lie. It ain't even in my pay. It's a lie. He sat up there and said that they paid for the entire event. They paid out of their pockets. You forgot to mention that $100 you was charging some people for booth rent. Some, not all, just some of the people. So Marcel goes on a rant saying if people want to get paid, they need to be shown like what they've done, what kind of work they've done, because he's not paying anyone to speak about their t-shirt business. Wow. Marcel, that was low. That is just, see, now you got me going up. Listen, I ain't team nobody, but on this, I'm siding with Mel all the way through. Mel has done she has plenty of other businesses aside from her t-shirt business, but if she's selling t-shirts and that's her business, do not diminish what she's doing. Don't do that. And we know out of the core 6, Mel probably got the most money out of all of them, okay? She ain't in no apartment trying to get things together and getting stuff from Rent-A-Center. Like, no, you will not. So Chris said, what you're not going to do is shade the Holtz. Like, don't do that. Okay, even when Martell getting on his nerves and not getting up and being a squatter in that rental home, he still got their back. And that's what a real friend gonna do. He said they been in business. They been had businesses. And Nell was like, and you would know. You partner with them. So you should know about it. They help put you on. I mean, that's what I thought I heard in them streets. And Marcel gonna say, but what they doing now? Well, we see what Mel doing now. She stay booked and busy. Now Martell, I mean, that's another story. We don't got a clue what he got going on, but that's besides the point. I just feel like, listen, because I mean, even I was selling shirts during the panorama. So I mean, it is a business. It's time consuming within itself. Like, you put money into it. Don't do that, especially when they're selling t-shirts for Black. Now, why would I want to buy a Black restaurant like a t-shirt? But they selling them, so don't do that. Tisha switches the subject and she asks how they overcame cheating in their 29-year marriage. And now in the confessional again, because they get all this confessional time, child. Ooh. She said part of her feels like it was a jab at them, because why did you even bring that up? What did that have to do with anything? How did we get here? Okay. The other part of her feels like Tisha was like low-key asking for advice, like it was a cry for help. And I feel the same way. I think it was, could have been either or. I'm leaning more towards the cry for help. Marcel shut it down immediately. Like, he was like, no, we ain't gonna talk about that. Why we not doing that? Like, bring it back. Tisha apologized, and Nell was like, I'm not offended. I don't mind talking about it. We can talk about it right here, right now. But Marcel was like, no, because I would feel away if somebody brought that up. Yeah, you would, because you don't want your business in the streets. That's why you don't want Tisha to slip up and say something and you possibly get exposed. So moving on, that's almost time for Tiffany's baby reveal. Tiffany walked in the building, the event space. Nothing's done. It looks a mess. Stormy arrives early because Tiffany like, what do I got to do? Give me some gloves. Let me see what I got to do. You shouldn't have to do nothing. If I'm paying y'all, I shouldn't have to do absolutely nothing. Stormy arrives early and they giving her some gloves and now she a part of the setup crew. Y'all know when y'all come to a Black people event, if you get there early, you're going to be a part of the setup crew. That's why I always come a little late because I know. But it ain't matter because they were still setting up the whole event. But I mean, we'll get there. So everyone's arriving. They're still putting things together and blaming it on the rain from earlier. I don't care. Rain, sleet, snow. This is unacceptable. And they need to take something off that bill. Okay? It's giving a little ghetto. Okay? What company? Who's this? Let me know so I don't go because I'm sorry. But no. So Melody arrives and she was saying hi to everybody. And she was like, now y'all saw me speak to Stormy. And Stormy was rummaging around in her purse acting like she was looking for something. Like, girl, Stormy definitely did not speak back. She did not say nothing else. But Mel mentions that she already met Baby Ace. Girl, you know you didn't have to bring that up. What was that for? Because Tiffany was like, that was supposed to be between us. Like, and Mel was like, I didn't know it was a secret. Like, girl, what you bring that up for? Like, girl. So Stormy, Kimmy, Mel, and Tiff are standing up because they can't sit down because they still sitting up tables. So they discussed the Black Expo, and Tiffany thought it would be a comeback initiative. But then she sees Stormy sitting up there, so she feeling away like, why am I in the audience and Stormy up there? Well, part of it is because nobody has a clue as to what you do. But Tiffany, you did say you were about to go in labor any minute. So, I mean, I didn't even think she was going to be there because you said you was about to give birth, like, at any given moment. So why do you feel away? But Stormy was like, look, I would have rather been sitting in the audience with you because that event was a hot mess, okay? Be clear. Stormy shares that she got into it with Marceau over that $100 booth fee. And Melody was like, wait, what? And she was like, yep. It was Marceau trying to harass me. You asked me to be a part of the event. I didn't come to you and say I wanted to be a part. I don't need to come be a part of anything. You asked me for help. And then you going to come to me and try to charge me last minute. And mind you, if they were upset about the amount of space she took, they never told her the allotted space that she had. So that's their fault. So, and then Kimmy says that, like, oh, I didn't even know. I thought we didn't pay, but come to find out, Maurice paid them $100 too. So, yeah, hot mess indeed. Everyone separates, and Stormy tells Kimmy that, again, she doesn't have a problem with Tisha. So, I mean, yes, they had that argument at that restaurant, but she's over it. Nell arrives, and of course, she got to spill everything that happened with Melody, with that conversation with the Scotts 1.0. She was like, yeah, she and Chris had dinner with them. They talked. Nell keeps saying Tisha's name wrong. She keeps calling her Tish. Like, I know it's spelled Tish, but it's pronounced like Tisha, like T, like that I is supposed to sound like an E, like Tisha. But you know, it ain't my name, whatever. So Nell mentions that Tisha said she was a little distant because of her friendship with Melody. She didn't say Melody specifically. They said we ain't really fooling with y'all because y'all are friends with the Holtz collectively. She made it seem like Tisha was just strictly talking about Melody, and she really was not. And it was Marcella was the one that was saying it. But I mean, she gonna go against her husband? No. So Mel said it sounds like some BS, because it is. Nell mentions Marcel not wanting to pay Melody. I'm like, he didn't want to pay anybody, but he definitely threw Melody under the bus, because she was like, he said if anybody should have got paid, it should have been Stormy and Maurice because they've been in business longer. When Stormy told her story, it didn't seem like she was in business that long, only a few years. So it seemed like the Holtz have had businesses longer. But does it matter? Like, the length of time? I just want to know, are you successful with what you're doing? Come on and speak on it. So, Mel said she can say, because she was like, I don't want, since we taking jabs, I can say I don't want to participate in the expo with business people who claim that they're business people anyway, but yet they're being sued for $5 million. They have a $5 million lawsuit for fraud, allegedly. So that's what he was in court for. What's that about? Is that gonna come out? That's crazy. Mel said the nerve of him to mention her t-shirts when they're selling t-shirts that say black. And Tisha's selling mugs. I wonder if anybody's buying that merch that they're selling. If y'all are buying that stuff, let me know in the comments because I'm curious. Mel was like, I've been having businesses since 2008. Like, I've been doing this. So, not too much, okay? But, per usual, Marcel was indeed doing the very most. And Mel also mentions that she gave him opportunities, helped him get a bag, put money in his pocket, helped him feed his family. Like, don't try me. Y'all weren't always trying to diminish what a black woman's doing. Don't do that. They were partners at one point, so she probably right. Because, I mean, the whole scope thing is heavy on the Holt. Mel said she don't care. She gonna tell them how she feels about this to their face, and then we end off on a to be continued. So Nell coming in and getting the mess stirred up. We had to bring in somebody because Keke over there, we don't know what she doing, and everybody else. I mean, it's a little lukewarm. Like, it's okay, but when Nell come in and get the mess started, like, now it's getting good. The drama getting started. Okay. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this episode in the comments. How y'all think Marcel? I think Marcel was wrong for what he said. Don't you try to diminish what somebody else is doing. I don't care, big, small. You started last week or you started 60 years ago. If you started doing something, a business or anything, that deserves to be acknowledged and celebrated, okay? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.